Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And in today's video we have this 2023 Volkswagen Jetta, and we're going to do the front grille chrome delete installation for this vehicle. So as you can see, this is how it looks before doing the installation on the front grille. It's just your regular chrome panel. And this is how it looks after the installation. So we use the gloss black material, that way it matches the color of the front grille that it already comes with, and it also gives it a more sportier look. If you like the product, link for the product will be linked below. But with that being said, let's get started with the installation video. Before we start with the installation for the front grille, we need to make sure we prep each panel before we do the installation. So all you need in order to prep the panel is baby shampoo and water mixed together inside a spray bottle. Once you have your solution, you're going to spray it onto a clean microfiber towel, and just make sure to start removing any contaminants that the panel may have. And also, once you're done cleaning the panel, make sure that everything's completely dry afterwards. That way the adhesive on the film is able to tack down to the panel wherever you're working on. So make sure you don't leave any water residue, because the water residue may damage the adhesive on the film. Even if you apply heat, you'll have a difficult time tacking it down. So make sure everything's dry and there's no contaminants, and you should be good to start the installation. So once you finish prepping the panel, now we can start with the installation. So with this one, we're starting off by installing the piece that goes in the lower section of the panel. So all you need to do is place the film onto the panel and align this section to the edge where the emblem is located here. So make sure you have enough coverage to cover this corner section of the chrome, and it should wrap around underneath just a little bit to cover underneath as well. So once you place it, all you need to do is just follow the design as you go. Take your time as you're tacking it down the film. And also, if you need to lift the film and readjust it, you can. Just carefully do it. You don't want to pull the film too hard that you might accidentally tear it. So just take your time as you go. Make sure everything stays aligned. You can use your finger to guide it until you reach it here. Around this curve of the panel, you may encounter a small finger. That finger, we could remove it by applying heat. But just make sure before we apply heat, everything is tacked down and the whole chrome is being covered. So to remove this finger, if you do encounter one, just grab your heat gun, apply a little bit of heat around the area where the finger is located, and that should help shrink the finger just a little bit in order to just pass your finger or a squeegee and sit it flat to this small curve here. Okay, and now that this is tacked down, we're going to use our squeegee to tack down the rest of the film to the panel. So now that we tack down each section of the film, now we're going to apply heat just to help any film that's still lifting tack down to the panel. And also we're applying heat underneath. That way we know any excess material that we may have, we can trim it off. So I recommend starting right here on the curve and making your way out to each side. Okay, once you finish applying heat, just grab your squeegee and help it tack down just a little bit more, just in case the film started lifting. And now we know what will be excess material, and that excess material, we could trim it off. So if you have excess material on the top section here, there is a small gap where you can enter your blade. Just before you do, create an outline with your finger so you have an idea on where you're going to need to trim. So create it here, create a small one here, and if you see any excess material here, you would trim it off as well. And now that we trimmed off any excess material that we did have, now we're going to finish it off by applying heat. That way the film starts tacking down to the panel, and the same steps that were done here, you would just do the same for this one and the other two for the passenger side. So just repeat the process that was done here for this one. The only difference with this one would be that this one doesn't wrap underneath like how this one was wrapped underneath the panel. Everything is just in the center here, and if you need to trim off any extra material, you would trim it off in this gap and on this gap up here. So it's more simple than this one. So just follow the same steps like I mentioned and you should be good. Once you're done with one side, do the same steps that we're doing here for the other panel. And then once you're done with both sections, the last step would be to post heat the entire panel. So the last thing to do once you finish with the whole installation for the front panel is to post heat the entire film. So just take your time when you're post heating. Make sure you're adding heat on each area of the panel. And if you still see some film lifting, just help it tack down by applying heat and using your squeegee to tack it down. So once you're done with this step, you're done with the installation. So just take your time to help the adhesive on the film activate faster. Thank you for choosing Bogar Tech Design. As a small business, your support means everything to us. If you loved your product, please drop a review. If you have questions or issues, don't forget to message us via email. Once again, thank you so much for the support from our family to yours. So that concludes the installation video for the front grille chrome delete installation for the 2023 Volkswagen Jetta. We hope that this video helped you guys out with the installation. If it did, don't forget to drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you don't miss any of our upcoming installation videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.